The power of vows. The rapid liberation of Ananda's nephews. Wow, are you ready? Today, we are diving straight into a fascinating script analysis. We're going to dissect an ancient story to uncover how human motivation truly works and reveal the incredible power of the intentions hidden deep within your heart. The story we're about to unpack is more dramatic than a movie. You'll see how a person's mindset and behavior can undergo an unbelievable transformation when pushed to the extreme. But first, we have to ask ourselves, what does it actually take to force a human being to change completely? We're starting here because the protagonists of our story today pulled off a miracle. They went from being hopelessly lazy, slackers to achieving total awakening in an instant. Usually, we think change takes half a lifetime or endless daily self-motivation, right? But this story tells us that sometimes, true change only requires one single, soul-shattering shock education. The hellish start. The story opens with a brutal hand. A horrific massacre in a besieged city leaves two young boys orphaned. They lost everything in an instant. Imagine the scene: two children wandering the streets, starving and desperate. Fortunately, a kind soul eventually directed them to the city of Shravasti to seek out their only remaining relative, their uncle, the venerable Ananda. This wasn't just a quest for survival. It was the starting point for a total reshuffling of their life trajectories. They finally found their uncle, but there was a huge catch. Venerable Ananda was an ascetic monk who owned nothing. He had zero resources to raise two growing children. This situation actually stumped the entire Sangha monastic community. Imagine a group of monks focused solely on spiritual practice suddenly having to figure out how to feed two hungry orphans without breaking their monastic precepts. Here's where it gets interesting. The Buddha didn't just grant them a privilege. Instead, he designed a very practical, step-by-step survival plan. If they wanted food, they had to provide labor washing bowls, tending plants, or even chasing crows away from the drying grains. As long as they completed these tasks, the Buddha made an exception and allowed them to be formally ordained as novices at the incredibly young age of 7. The slacker phase and the shock education. But guess what? Once these two kids found a safe harbor and free meals, they started slacking hard. During the day, they played wildly. In class, they were completely distracted, and at night, they slept like logs. They threw discipline out the window. Ultimately, Venerable Ananda was too soft-hearted and indulgent with them, which made them lose any desire to learn. Finally, Ananda waved the white flag. He realized his limitless compassion was actually harming them. Helpless, he decided to hand these two hot potatoes over to a legendary disciplinarian, the Venerable Moggallana. To guide the boys away from their lethargy, Moggallana bypassed traditional lectures. Instead, he utilized his spiritual powers to show them the weight of karmic consequences, a profound vision of the struggles one must face if a life is spent in negligence. This stark realization acted as a catalyst, shattering their complacency. However, the master noticed that motivation fueled solely by the fear of negative consequences was unsustainable. As the boys grew frail from anxiety, understanding the need for balance, he shifted the vision to a breathtakingly sublime celestial realm. There, amidst radiant light and divine harmony, two magnificent thrones awaited them. Celestial beings informed them, "These seats are reserved for those who practice with diligence." Instantly, their drive shifted from avoiding hardship to pursuing a state of higher existence. The most brilliant turning point, however, followed shortly after. Having witnessed both the depth of potential suffering and the height of temporary bliss, the 7-year-olds had a profound epiphany. They realized that both fear and desire are but different sides of the same emotional cycle. With this insight, they developed true renunciation and transcended to a state of profound enlightenment. The Buddha then revealed the long-term karmic investment behind this event. This rapid awakening was rooted in a powerful vow, but they thought, "There's plenty of time. We'll do it when we're older." They got married, had kids, and got bogged down in the daily grind. Years passed, and their spiritual dreams were completely eroded by procrastination. Eventually, only to remain now old men who could barely walk. They finally ordained, but because they were old and slow, they were often bullied and mocked by the younger monks. One old man was furious and full of resentment, but the other chose to let go. He understood that this was the result of his own youthful procrastination. This difference in mindset decided their future. The old man who practiced self-reflection avoided a chain reaction of bad karma. The power of the vow. Before they died, These two old men were so full of regret that they made a powerful vow. They swore that in their next life, they would never again suffer the pain of ordaining too late. They prayed to be born in the era of Gautama Buddha, and to start their training as young children. And if they were too young, they hoped the Buddha would open a back door for them. That heart-wrenching regret and intense desire from a past life scripted their current destiny. Every detail we saw at the beginning of the story was a 100% perfect fulfillment of their vow. They were born in the Buddha's time, became orphans at the right age to enter the monastery. The Buddha broke tradition for them, and they reached enlightenment rapidly. It was all the manifestation of that one powerful vow. Conclusion: stop waiting. At the end of this text, the ancient masters offer a sharp warning. Waiting is extremely dangerous. Whether it's personal growth or a great life goal. Stop saying when I have time or when I'm ready. That perfect timing simply does not exist. As we wrap up today's analysis, I want to leave you with this question to think about. What are you procrastinating on right now? Are you still waiting for a perfect moment that will never come? What kind of intent and karma is secretly writing the script for your future? Don't let your life be consumed by endless waiting. Every decision you make right now is literally shaping the future you. Hopefully, today's analysis brings you a bit of that shock education you might need.